to some of you. There's certainly more faces here than there were at the debate this morning. So I guess it's a good morning for some of you. Hi and welcome to the 9th General Assembly and the 9th Homecoming of Jacob's Alumni Association. I'm Peter Perkovic, for those of you who haven't met. I'm the class of 2004, originally from Serbia, hence the weird name, and I'm the president of the Alumni Association. So I really want to welcome you all here. I'm really happy that you're all here, and I also want to open with a little bit of a personal reflection. Those of you who were at the discussion, they've heard me say some of that, so I'll try not to repeat it in the same sense. But preparing for homecoming and preparing for all of this, it's an interesting time, right, for us in the board, because we all have day jobs, and we all have things to do, and we're doing this kind of on top. And then a lot of stress builds up, believe it or not. Is everything taken care of? Do we have the tickets and the party theme and all of this? And in Canberra, I'm so grateful we have you, because we'd probably be lost without you, and I'm sure you would not be lost without us, because we drive you crazy. But thank you for all of your help anyway. But it's an... You want to stand up and take a bow? But you know, I'm going to be very honest. You go through a moment, kind of, at least I do, and you guys can tell me if you feel the same. You go through, what the hell did I ever run for this office? And it's not meant in a bad way. It's just kind of like, you know, I got work to do anyway. We're complaining, and we're having issues. Why are we doing this? And then, to be honest, though, I was talking about it this morning. There's moments of truth that you see on campus, mainland campus. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's worth it. One of those moments was this morning at the debate, and I have to say, I said this to Andrew from Teheva, I had my doubts around, we're going to have debates with only Jacob's people talking about that. Are you kidding me? But I said, okay, let's go with the flow. But you know, the intellect of the people who were there, the quality of the debate is just amazing, and that makes me proud of being the Jacob's alumnus. And the other moment like that was at graduation, and some of you were here, some of you were definitely there. At graduation this year, and I specifically remember there was the first row, and I said it very bad for the first row, but there was the president, Ronnie Wells, the deans, Christian Jacobs, and a couple of other people. And these students were going up on stage, and one of them was singing. She has the most beautiful voice. I mean, I'm convinced she's going to be the next Rihanna, seriously. What's her name? Fedin? You guys know what I mean? And then some other students went on stage and gave a speech, and they were talking. It wasn't a real speech; it was just really authentic speech from the bottom of their heart. And you could see the whole first row. I'm sorry, Mr. President, to embarrass you, but all of us were crying, literally. And I remember specifically sitting there years after my graduation, and I thought to myself, "You're really pathetic. You're genuinely really pathetic. You're crying in graduation." But it is one of those moments where you look at those people and you can look at the quality that they're bringing. I'm just impressed. So after today, my energy level is up again. So you're going to have to forgive me if I start dancing in a second. The other thing that really raises my level of energy in it are the people I work with. So if we move to the next slide and skip. Just skip that, please, for now. And that's the board, right? And if I can just ask the board members to stand up, all of you who are here, including the alumni office, just so folks could recognize you. And the three of you over here. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because, first of all, because they have to work with me, and Lord knows that's not easy. But more importantly, this picture was taken in February in Stockholm.
So cool.
And we meet at least twice a year. We try to make it more often in person, and then the rest of that happens on the telephone, and as most recently on Google Hangout, which I didn't even know how to use. But all of these folks travel on their own time. because it should be about giving back. So you folks inspire me, and that's the kind of work environment that really gets my energy level going. And why am I saying all of that? You want to move to the next picture actually before I move on? Because that one's, you would not believe the debate we were having in there actually. But, and the reason I'm saying all of that is because today we're going to talk about, so today is the second General Assembly of this board. We're going to talk a little bit about the kind of stuff that we've been doing and the kind of stuff that we want to do. But I think we're now slowly at a point in the journey where in the first year we're really focused on setting up some basics and proving to you really that we can do stuff. Right? So we've set up the basics for the scholarships, we've developed the relationships with the university, we've developed an identity for the association. This year was very much less sexy than that. It was very much around laying the foundations that all of those things aren't just started, but that they get done. That the processes get documented and we really can do them consistently. And as you will see later on, third year is going to be very much about providing the infrastructure for us to connect with each other. So we're going to focus on replacing AlmaLink with a new system that's not going to replace Facebook, so we're not even going to try that. But we're going to focus on really making sure we have the good data to connect all of you and to respond to some of your questions. So whether that's looking for jobs that are related to the Jakobs community, whether that's about interacting more with students, sharing some other ideas, and that kind of stuff. And the other thing that we're going to be focusing on is strengthening the role of the local chapters. And we've seen that work really, really well in America, for example, where we've met with over 50 people year after year, twice a year, once in Berkeley, once in Harvard, every time, so East Coast, West Coast. We want to make sure that that happens in other countries as well. And the reason we want to make sure that happens is, A, because we think you all just have fun when you connect. And B, we think as we move along, there are some common themes that connect us as Jakobs students, and we can actually make an impact in our communities. So we really want to make sure that that happens. However, the reason I'm saying this is a transition point in the journey is that I think as of next year, as we provide that framework, it's going to stop being a board activity. It's going to stop being board projects, and it needs to become the association project. So we've had some really good examples of your involvement already, and some of you are sitting here who have been involved outside of the board, outside of any official role. So Iyana is one of them, obviously. And Bensei is there, and there's tons of other people. We're going to want even more of that. We heard some really great ideas today, for example, of inputting to the university's policies that affect alumni. We need to move that from ideas and talking to action. So really, as we go through this, and as we go through this weekend, I really just want to encourage you, listen to what we've done, give us feedback, give us comments, but give us ideas and engage with us. Forget about who's in the board, who's the president, who's not the president, who has a role, who doesn't have a role. I think with 2,000 policies, only 10% actively engaged in only one project, we really can make a difference. But it's not going to be 8 people here in the board doing that. We can help, we can provide the support, but I really want to encourage you to move from, here's an idea and here's a thought, to we can do it, because we definitely can do it. That's all I can do. So I'm going to stop, but again, as a comment I made at the debate, it's not supposed to be cheesy, it's just very honest and genuine in that sense. So, I drive Stefan crazy because I break every protocol every time. So if we go back to the agenda, so this is what the agenda for today is going to look like. We're going to deal with some legal matters very quickly, and then we're going to hand over to President Treusch, who's going to give us an update on some of the developments of the university and where it's headed, as he always does in a brilliant manner. And then we have the honor of welcoming the future president of Jakobs University, Professor Untitled Peitgen. And this is one of the first times that he's actually introducing himself to anybody in the community. Normally he wouldn't be doing that before he's officially in the role, but because this is a unique opportunity, he'll be here, and I'm really glad about that. We'll hear about some of the preview results from the alumni survey, and as always, they're very interesting. We'll talk about the alumni scholarships, but more importantly, we'll meet the 3 people who received the alumni scholarships. And those of you who were here last year, we met some of them. We have another one, a new person. And this is where it comes to life, right? This is where principles and procedures and all of that stuff that we've been sending you emails about come to life. And I'm sure you're going to agree when you hear their stories. I mean, that's more valuable than anything else. We will talk to you about our plans to change AlmaLink. We'll talk to you briefly about the local chapters, and then we really want to talk. We just want to have a debate with you, not a debate hopefully, but a constructive conversation in that sense. And we do have a point number 10, and we're not going to tell you what point number 10 is until we get to that. So, I'm really sorry to do this, but we are in Germany, so I have to do a couple of things that are according to the charter and for the protocol. We can move on to the next one. And that one is, first of all, I would need to confirm the legal constitution of the Assembly and the fact that we have a quorum. So maybe you can advise me actually what I legally need to say in that sense.
Well, because we're in Germany and there are legal matters, and in our charter it's mentioned that 10 alumni need to be here, that the General Assembly could decide on topics and things, and that's why we need to say, oh yeah, there are more than 10 alumni here today. So that's done now.
Look around and say, oh yes, there are more than 10 alumni there. Okay. The next point is the board report, and actually the whole presentation is going to be the board report, so we're not going to deliver on the report in that sense. There will be a one-sentence financial report. Eva, do you want to do that now?
I can do that now. The FH as today, as you know, we have introduced fees until today, so there's no money coming in and there's no money coming out.
Paying 5,000 euros for that consultancy fee. And then at the end of the assembly, we're going to do an exoneration of the board, so we're just going to need to confirm a confirmation from you that we've done a good enough job for you to release us into the next year. So with that, I'm going to hand over to our president.
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome once more. What I did is to collect some of the slides I will show to the Board of Trustees of the Jacobs Foundation on Friday, and on 6th of November for our own board. I excluded deliberately the sheer budget slides for the reasons I mentioned this very morning. They are a bit confidential, but we are optimistic that they will be realistic and weak. So, most of that is what we know already, of course, but we chatted once more to our board of trustees in Zurich because they don't know so exactly that we stick to the idea that we are liberal arts and science college plus a research university. Because as we put it this morning, a good undergrad education will not be possible without good professors, and good professors are not thinkable of without research. It means excellent teaching plus excellent research. Interdisciplinarity is one of the, by now worldwide, spread ideas. Interculturality, internationality, still a unique selling point. But as mentioned this morning, if everybody learns from us, it's fine, and we have to move a bit quicker. And close networking, that concerns you. What you and most of you will know, not from the time of 2007, but even then I explained we will go up to 1,500 students as a total, 900 with undergrads, but not only you, it's 840, or these 280 per class as the final stake, plus 60 coming from outside. As the Lafayettes, which you met already in your time, now we have students from the AlmaLink College and from Wellesley, and these are particularly nice guys in so far, they are all food payers. That helps you and your successors. About 600 graduate students, by far more PhD, we now have 417, and about 160 masters at present. These numbers might change, but certainly at least twice as much PhD students as compared with master students. And old rules, less than 25% freshmen from Germany, less than 10% from any other nation in order to maintain this diversity. And we are now up to 10 with US. We are about 8, 7, 8, 9 with Bulgaria, Romania still. And coming up by now is China, which is well now about 5%. India was the same. But 108 nations altogether. And you see, we have prepared sometimes also numerous critics. We prepare leaders tomorrow to responsibly meet global challenges easily. But I should mention the theater which some of you helped to build was built only with student money and collective money, was a real success. And whenever we have either piano to photo or new theater play there, this helps a lot for the reputation as well as for the pleasure. Students development. With these numbers, I was wrong this morning. You were already 600 in the class of 2007 here. You see, steepness decreases, and there was a small bump in 2009-2010 as a consequence of the financial worldwide crisis. The numbers went down to 656. They should have been at this point 720. And of course, these lacking numbers also show up in our balance sheet. But now we are stable, on stable track. Here you can see it more pictorially. Number of applications goes steeply up in the last years. That's the official application part of the US is incorporated here. You see the number of evaluated doesn't go as steeply others, but here you have the two missing years, so to say. 4 plus 205, only 276. Now we have 280, 275, that's what it should be. And what I should say, and that's fantastic, this fall, 275 freshmen with increased tuition fee from 18,000 to 20,000. But still, the discount rate improved from 50 to 45. You remember the year after year action increased tuition fee from 15,000 to 18,000. And that made the discount rate becoming worse from 50 to 55. It was still earning of money, but discount rate reacted. Here it reacted in the other way. That's really impressive. Without diminishing the number of nations, without stopping need clients admission. That's a tricky picture. The number of degrees is scaled in a factor of 3. Supposing that in 3 years you make your degree, and this is a steady state. The light blue and the heavy red should be the same height. But they almost are already. Here these numbers are small. That's the consequence of the small class of 2009. But if everybody would be successful, the two bars should be equal height. Actually, it's 93 to 96%, depending on the year. But it's really high on the rest compared to the normal state. I have the same slide, by the way, for PhD students. There's less problem. Your internship programs are 39% industry, 43% research, 18% organizations, and half to half Germany and the rest of the world. Academic development, that's what you all know. I go over it. New program since 2007. First International Foundation year, with between 15 and 20 participants, which, so to say, then have 4 years up to the bachelor. Once more, it's full payers that could lead in the wrong direction, namely some kids of rich parents which try to handle Jacobs. So we are very careful in selecting these young guys, also to the academics or to the academic standards you all know. And new undergraduate programs in the more applied realm, international statistics, which you realize just upcoming, global economics management, which is heavily asked for, and started 2 years ago. Information management system started just this fall. Integrated environmental studies, which is not so heavily asked for. And intercultural related behavior and cognitive psychology and neuroscience, the last one was more heavily asked for. And all these are treated by both schools. Graduate schools, you might know the big Bremen Graduate School for Social Sciences. It was really essential for the State University of Bremen to win in the excellency competition, which they did. You know, they are amongst the 11 German excellent universities. The Earth System Science Research School is together with Oldenburg. The Polymer is together with the Alfred Wegener Institute. And the International Max Planck Research School, of course, together with Max Planck Institute for Marine Microbiology. So you see our extensions are well developed. We have 3 executive programs: European Utility Management, which we just a few months ago, or a few weeks actually ago, transferred to St. Gallen because we stopped it here because Professor Bausch left us and we couldn't really make it any longer. Next Generation Leadership is more or less a local program here in our colleagues in Bremen. And President Treusch System Dynamics, that's a worldwide business where we hope to get quite a lot of money from. So the big companies like Shell, Exxon, etc., they send their young people to Bremen. That's interesting, and you asked for that. What about our money spending? We have a wonderful relation of 1 to 10 professors to students. That's by far too good. I can tell you in the international competition, it's not far too good. Rice, our mother, has a ratio of 1 to 7. And they really complain about that because a year ago they had 1 to 6. And they find 1 to 7 is already the way to disaster. We have 1 to 10, and if we go public, we make up a bit different calculation and say, well, we are coming close to 1 to 15 in order just to calm down emotions in Bremen. But what you can see here, the staff members on our payroll, almost stable, are now even a bit decreasing. Third-party money people teaching. These numbers increase, that's fine. And increasing numbers with adjunct professors and lecturers, and adjunct are all the so-called wisdom professors. The first one you met when you were here. That's these professors in pension from the state universities coming here for a rather small amount of money. I wonder if all of you have seen our research centers. It's by now 10. We have to make selections now, which are really going on successfully. They all are oriented towards this central challenges: energy, food, water, health, information, peace, and conflict management. They all are cross-disciplinary. Not all of them already earn money, but they try hard. And we will end, I would say that's one from my successors is 4 or 5 in the steady state. But that's process. Quality development, that's nice. Here's a Re-Accreditation to the Wissenschaftsrat. 10 years without any condition, that's the best they can give. The recognition of Bremen was renewed, also until 2018. We are by now member of the Hochschulrektorenkonferenz of the club where all university presidents and rectors are in Germany. And very recently, a few weeks ago, the Wissenschaftsrat, the same as us, gave a paper about private universities in Germany, or private high schools in Germany. High school in German, then Hochschule. And they stated Jakobs University Bremen is the only private university in Germany which deserves the name of the university. And that, of course, that helps a lot. Those of you who read Die Zeit will realize that there's a big debate about the value of rankings, in particular the CHE, Zentrum für Hochschulentwicklung in Gütersloh in Germany. But still, mostly those are very critical who are very bad, at least in the ranking. We are very good, so I'm just quiet about the quality of ranking. What you can see here, green is top, red is low, and yellow is in the middle. Gray is no better than in between. There's lots of gray dots because there were not enough students to answer really the questions coming from CIT. But now in 2011, 2012, we are almost in all disciplines top. average overall, it's funny, but it's like that. We are number one in Germany of all universities, including the excellent universities. But that's you, because this ranking is a ranking of mostly student opinions. How do you feel? How do you like the professors? How is whatsoever? What you are asked. So not too astonishing. But that is astonishing, and I tell the story. Perhaps some of you know already. Students from abroad, typically in Germany, 11%, 10 to 11%. Successful students from abroad, between 9 and 10%, so a bit less. What means typically students from abroad is not as successful as German. Not too so. In Bremen, numbers are different. 30% students, 15% successful. The first reaction of my Bremen friends was, oh, are Bremen kids so silly that they are outraged by the foreign students? No. The point is rather simple. It's for all of Bremen. 20,000 students in the state university, 1,000 take back from the year. That doesn't matter. 2,000 from abroad the state university, 800 here. That matters. Out of these 2,000, 1,000 successful at the state university. Out of these 800, 780 successful here. That really counts. So it's just you who make Bremen, and they are very proud of that. Listed in the newspapers, the Bildungsspiegel, whatsoever. Bremen is number one in university education in Germany, the state of Bremen. And I will bring this argument, or also I will bring this argument to our mayor when we meet him and tell him that you are an asset. Thank you. Yeah.
How is the success measured?
Excellent.
How is the success measured?
Excellent. If you make an action successfully, that's success.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in Germany, as a consequence, of course, of the professor-student ratio of up to 100 to 1, which is in some disciplines the case, the success rate in some disciplines is less than 50%. That means you start and you don't end. Business development, I will not show, as I told you, all of our business charts, but this one is very nice. The others are all about the That's up to the year 2012. We know what we do. That's the dark blue lines. We got 11 and 12 million euro third-party money from EU, from German Science Foundation, from here and there. And we intend to keep this linear increase of next years. So that's a positive story, which is fixed. The donations, look to the smiling face of Mr. Hansen. It's almost in the range where it should be, and just in the recent months we are on a pretty good track, I would say. That's also extremely convincing. Now you have to why have you shown the real budget? I could show it to you, it's also very convincing, but it's not fixed now. So we have to wait for the SI. But all the signs go in the right direction. In addition to the 200 million from Jacobs in 2006, we got about close to 60 further million in the meantime. Not too bad. Campus development, well, that's what you all know better than I do. But perhaps not all of you have already seen the Sports and Convention Center, the rolling tank on the right, the gym on the left, the whole building in the middle. Take the time to visit it, it's worthwhile. It's a really nice building. And good sometimes to apologize for being so mysterious. And yeah, sports was closed at the State University, just for the reason of cost. What we say, our competitors are not the German State University. Our competitors are the international private universities. And you expect something, and we have to do it. I spoke this morning about our theater. You have heard about our music, it was great success. Our rowing team lost this year, which was fine, by the way, because otherwise Hamburg people after 3 defeats would have stopped the whole competition. Not to say that our rowers lost deliberately, but That will win next year much more, I'm pretty sure, based on this growing text. New development, I'm proud to hear that we will learn something new in 2 minutes. The geographic distribution is well, great number, 75% stick to Europe, 35 in Germany, 40 in the rest, 10 in UK, for example. Only 5% go back to Asia now. And I'm asked very often, what do you expect? Didn't you educate these young people to go back to their home country? I say, yes, of course, but not immediately. I mean, our oldest class is set of 2004. They are 30 now. What we know is, and it's known from China, it's known from India, it's known from Pakistan, the drain back of talents from the former grain bank to USA turns at the age of 50 when people have earned enough money to go back and do good in their own country. And the new universities in India and China now are mostly staffed with original Indians and Chinese, but at the age of more than 50, not at the age of 2. That's funny, it's still ISS which leads in the nations of our alumni. I would predict that will change in the next 2 years, stabilizing global economics, say, and logistics. This, I think, will get new numbers in a minute. Of course, in the timeline, working should go up and studying should go down. Yeah, you can't study to the end of your life. That's true. Well, that's what I will show my board. That's the universities where you alumni are, and that's a quite impressive line of famous names. That's where you work. And this slide has to change whenever my audience changes. Yesterday I gave a talk to EAPS. That's why Airbus has to be here very prominent. And yeah, not more, it's only fun. And that's impressive. I made this argument this morning. The average income of your parents is a Gaussian maximum at less than 10,000 euro per year. And the income of the alumni is a Gaussian is a maximum between 40 and 60, so okay. That's impressive for all those people who feel we are the university for the dumb kids of rich parents. That's not true. It's million kids, if I may say so, on average, poor parents. So, and I just wanted to give an example. That was the names that was work. And that's the other, quite a high number, but you know what they do, at least some. That's Ecuador, the high activity where also some of you are engaged to tell school kids there how to plant a garden, how to have good governance in the school and things like that. So it's a broad field where you are engaged. And that's the end. Oh no, just one more point, which you may have realized. I mentioned the shitstorm this morning in Facebook. These new media are out now all on our scale. We developed because our normal media presence. We have a film, Deutsche Welle, we have this film which you now have on the website. We have this 4-page report that 2009, that ends anniversary last year. And of course, a big bang of the Jakobs Foundation. But we also have Twitter and all what we want. We have a mobile website for smartphones, you can test it. It's on since, I think, 3 days or so. And numbers increased by more than 200%. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And what's fascinating, we have compared only in Britain 2.5 times more Facebook fans than the big university with 20,000. I mentioned it differently because for the outside people, it helps. It's even by far more than the University of Hamburg. don't speak about any private universities. And because some prizes, as you might have seen, the film Letters to the Future from the 10th anniversary got a European prize for the best of comedy publishing, which was really a sensation. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Always impressive and always interesting. I need to get used to now saying Mr. President again, which is to the future president of Jacobs University, Professor Peitgen. So the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you, Peter. I'm very pleased to be here this afternoon, and I would like to start by sharing the story. What I'm going to share with you happened yesterday about the same time. I was at a scientific meeting at the University of Leiden in Holland. Over lunch, I met with a good old friend from the University of Iowa. We were sitting at a table of four, initially by ourselves, talking about the past, talking about the future. Milan knew about the big plan, new plan in my life, and I was explaining Jacobs University to him. About that time, Maria Siebes, a professor of biomedical research from the University of Amsterdam, came by and asked whether she could join. So we continued our conversation, and shortly after, a young woman came to our table and asked, "Can I join you?" Turned out she is a PhD student of Maria at the University of Amsterdam and about to finish her PhD in biomedical research. As we were talking about Jacobs, Milan, my good friend, was trying to pick up some of the things I had told him, bragging about Jacobs University because I had been bragging about it. And in the middle of that, this young woman said, "Oh, by the way, I'm a graduate of Jacobs University." And I still have goosebumps when I report that story. Her name is Janina Schwartz. She graduated in 2006 in physics and mathematics. And then we kept silent. And Janina would tell us her view of Jacobs University, which was authentic and touching. That happened yesterday. And I think it's a wonderful story connecting with your assembly today. By the way, she is sending her regards. I asked her, "Why don't you come to the assembly tomorrow?" And she said, "I was planning to, but of course I had to be at that conference." So, this is Janina Schwartz. Let me say a few words about myself. I'm 67. I'm married for 41 years. I have 2 daughters. Both are medical doctors. And I have retired from the University of Bremen just a couple of weeks ago. I have been educated as a mathematician, and I'm saying educated, not trained. I have been educated at the University of Bonn, which is in Germany, and maybe even within Europe at the time, and to this day is one of the primary places in mathematics. I took off as a pure mathematician and gradually shifted towards applications. In 1995, I had arrived in medical sciences and started to use mathematics to innovate a new field of medical studies, which now is known as medical image computing. I founded an independent research institute, which now is part of the Fraunhofer Society and employs about 100 researchers doing research in medical image computing, trying to improve diagnosis and therapy based on medical imaging. And I retired as director from the institute also just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm really retired at this point. But as you know, only for 2 more months. And then I will pick up the presidency, succeeding President Treusch. And I should say that over the last couple of months, maybe 3 or 4, I have been around this university almost every day, talking to people, meeting people, trying to understand Jakobs University, and I have had a wonderful time of cooperation with Alumni Project, which is a wonderful and very unique situation that the successor of the CEO comes to work and talk to people at this place, in this case, before his employment starts. We've had a very good time, and I think I'm very well prepared, or at least I hope so. As you know, we will have not just me as a new person leading this university starting in January. We will also have, for the first time, Provost. We have been looking for a Provost for almost 2 years, and I'm very happy to say that we now have a Provost. I cannot disclose the name for various reasons, but soon we will be able to do that, most likely not later than 2 weeks from now. But the most important thing is that we have a wonderful new Provost. I'm very happy about the choice. I'm very much looking forward to work with that Provost starting January. Let me say a few things about what I think is important for me in this new job as President of the Jakobs University. Only a few days from today, actually Tuesday, 15 years ago, this telephone call, which you may have heard about, happened between Ronnie Reynolds and myself. So in a way, what I'm going to do is rejoin Jakobs University after being part of the initiators 15 years ago. I've always been watching, I've always been very devoted to IUB and later at Jakobs University. I was and I'm still on the board of governors, as you know. But my plan was not to become president. My plan was to spend most of my life, future life, in Florida. Because this is also part of my professional life. For the past 25 years, I had a dual appointment in the United States. 6 years at the University of California in Santa Cruz, and after that 2 the middle of this year at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. So my plan was to spend most of my time in the future in Florida, enjoy Florida, fly my plane, and have a good time. This has changed. And the change is big. And I can tell you, the only reason that I accepted this change is because of admiration for what has been achieved in this university and the challenges which this university has for the next years. And the people. And I can tell you, whoever I met, students, faculty, and admins in the last couple of months, they had one thing in common. They were very, very special. Something is glowing in them, besides all the differences they may have, and that is they love this place, as does President Treusch. And I know he will be very sad when he has to go. And I'm very happy that I have come. Because it is such a unique place. It is unique because of the people in many, many ways. Can it remain what it is in the future? I'm not sure. You all know that we have serious financial challenges to overcome. I believe we can. I think we have a plan. We're not going to communicate that plan today because we have to communicate it first time to the Board of Trustees of the Jacobs Foundation on Friday. But we do have a plan to financially stabilize Jacobs University. And in doing so, the most important thing for me is to maintain the core values that this university has and has developed. This is priority. So if you would ask me, what are the core values? I would say one of the first things I want to do in the beginning of 2013 is to ask that question. What are the core values of the Jacobs University? What are they really? And I will involve the students, the faculty, and members of the administration. And once we have agreed on what the core values are, I will insist every day that we maintain and keep them, that we keep our promises, and do away with the things we have said in the past that we cannot keep. I want to arrive at a situation where we all agree on the core values and do the best we can to maintain them every day. And I think that will be key also for our financial consolidation, which has to come in the next years in my tenure. And your place in this is big, because whenever we talk about Jacobs University, like yesterday, in a casual conversation, the only thing that counts is actually you. You, as alumni who have graduated from Jacobs University and are the proof that this university does its job, fulfills its promises. So help us in any way you can. Spread the good things about us. Don't spread the bad things. But tell me about the bad things. Help me by indicating how we should change. Help me by letting me know what you think the core values are that we have to maintain. today in that regard. And I think that then we have a chance to build the future of Jacobs University, not just in maintaining, but in growing in our core values. With that I want to end, and I'm looking forward to see you next year.
There's a saying in Professor Peitgen in English which says, no good deed ever goes unpunished. So it was 15 years ago when you made that call. Now we're calling you to that, and we're bringing you back to work on that. And I think I speak on behalf of all of us when we say an unofficial welcome, and then in January we're going to say an official welcome. When we met a couple of days ago, Professor Peitgen said, you know, it's been a while since I've spent a winter in Bremen. And I can tell you, winter in Bremen is very similar to winter in Florida. So you are going to enjoy it. Very good. So I think now it's the time for us to hear a little bit about the survey that's not done yet. So you still have a chance to fill in the alumni survey. But we keep putting more and more effort into really getting good qualitative data to understand where are alumni, what are they doing, what do they look like. And this is important for us, but it's also important for the university to be able to go and tell our story. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Imke to share some of the nuggets.
Yeah, hello. First of all, also from our side, from the alumni office side, a warm welcome to you. It's always nice having you back on campus. And yeah, we're always looking forward for the homecoming. So now we are here, and hopefully we're going to have a few more interesting days together. So yeah, what I would like to do is to present the preliminary results of the alumni survey to you. So, and you can see that the survey was sent out to 1,878 alumni in total, but 45 emails bounced back, so the contact email given was not up to date. So I would also encourage you again to be very careful with your AlmaLink profile, and please update it whenever you have time, or you've got changes in your life. Visit AlmaLink and change your private profile, so that makes our life much easier. So a total of 1,833 alumni received the survey link, and 20% response rate so far. So deadline is October 28th, so if you have not filled in the survey yet, please feel free, do it. I really would like to encourage you to do it. So the number of alumni participants and how many responses we got by class. You see that right now the class of 2012 is the leading one. So if you would like to run a little contest, go ahead, fill in the survey, please. So current country of residence of alumni, you can see that 347 alumni answered this question, and the top 7 destinations you can see here, that many of you stay in Germany. Then the second nationality where students stay or nation is the USA, followed by United Kingdom, Netherlands. So to be honest, it has not changed in comparison to last year. So it seems that these are so far the countries where many of you would like to stay afterwards. Then here we have the degrees received by alumni. So you can see that, well, 38% hold a BA, 52% a Bachelor of Science. Well, you can see what happens. What I really like with this one is that also exchange students participated in the survey, and that they did not say, I don't care about that, I just visited Jacobs University for a semester, so I don't fill in the survey. I really like that they also start feeling part of our community. Now we have an interesting chart. Now you can see it's proved. We have right now the change that more alumni are working right now than the ones who study. So yeah, now is the time for the change Professor Treusch mentioned. We asked what kind of communication you use to stay in touch with other alumni, and well, you can see that the top, no wonder, is Facebook. I was astonished that many of you, because you are spread around the world, stay in touch via personal meetings. That's what I really like and what I found interesting. You can see which thing is not very top ranked, so that's why it's today on the agenda, because we know we need to do some changes with this. And then there was a question, how would you support Jacobs University? And what came out, so you had to rank in 1 to 6, and number 1 was the most preferred. And here you can see that most of you would like to mentor students, so that this might be a project we really need to take care of in future and work something out together, how that can be done. Well, one other topic we have today on the agenda is local chapters. Just 15 so far say that they would stay or take over the responsibility as a local chapter leader, so maybe after today some of you will change their minds and this number will rise, hopefully. For which of the following would you prefer to donate money? So we are very happy about this one. It's also on the agenda, so it seems that today we made a good job, so that the survey really shows the top topics which we have also on our agenda. Yeah, this is one of the charts with which only the class of 2012 filled in, one of the questions, because we really would like to have a feedback from the students who just left Jacobs University in some issues, and we were asking them about their satisfaction, for example, in financial aid, in counseling, and this means also life in the colleges, housing, that was the question. Then we asked about career services, technology support, the library, campus life, and the recreation facilities like sports facilities and so on. Here you can see that 291 alumni skipped the question and that 65 filled it in, and well, it seems that these were the ones from class 2012 because the others had to skip this question, they didn't get it. So, but you can see due to the fact that the number 4 is very satisfied, I think Jacobs University is on a very good way, that the satisfaction rate is very high from the class of 2012. Then we have the one, please rank the following alumni association services based on how valuable you find them. Well, you can see top number 1 is the class reunion, which we will celebrate also tonight. And then we have the scholarships, again on the agenda for today. Also, alumni homecoming is something you really like, and yeah, this indicates for us what do we need to support more or work something new out, or where, well, what you really don't like, where we can do some changes or skip maybe some of the offers we do, or exchange them. So now, my last slide is a little hint for you. So deadline 28th of October, you will get one more reminder, so we'll stay in touch, I hope. So that was it from my side so far. You like my jacket? Yeah, it's brand new merchandise from sorry. My mark, I forgot it. You can purchase these tomorrow morning.
I'm sure glad we have you in the alumni office. I don't think the theater would have worked out. But the materials, but the jacket is great, and so is the mug, and you'll be able to buy them tomorrow. So if you haven't filled out the survey, sorry, go. Go.
Can we buy the Jacobs merchandise this weekend, or is it?
It is unfortunate. gonna murder a jacket. No feedback taken. Let's see whether we can do something about it. If we cannot do something about that now, we'll take that on board in the future. If you haven't filled out the survey, do please. It takes 5 minutes literally to fill it out, and it's really important. Now bear with us, we only have a couple more topics, but the next one is really one that's really near and dear to my heart and to everybody's heart from the board. And that's about making a difference to people's lives. And so all of this is kind of theory and numbers, and that's all great. But actually there's 3 people in here who we've made an impact on. And you'll hear me talk about this much more tonight at the 2007 reunion. But with that, I'm going to hand over to Peter, who's been leading most of the work on the scholarships.
Thank you. Just a quick show of hands. Who is class of 2004? 5, 6, 7? So for you, this will be very interesting. I'm probably going to be presenting this every year because it's usually mostly the 5-year reunion class that's mostly presented. And I just want to briefly tell you what it is, the scholarship project. First off, it's a scholarship that's based on donations by the 5-year reunion class. And it was initiated by the class of 2004, their 5-year reunion, and then continued on by the class of 2005 and 6. And you will hopefully continue that, right, tonight. Who donates? It's the members of the 5-year reunion class and any other person that might feel strongly affiliated to the class. For example, in the class of 2004, we had professors on there, resident associates, so you can ask anybody you like. The process. After tonight, the class representative of each class is basically going to take over and leading the donating class committee, which will define the theme, the topic of each of the scholarship, and then in cooperation with the admissions office would guide the DCC into selecting a student for the scholarship. Who receives it? That's totally and only up to the DCC. As a thank you, if you decide to donate 100 euros per year for the duration of the student's studies, you will get an engraved brick into the future, path into the future that we have opened this morning. Most of you have seen it, if not walked across it. If you don't know what it is, talk to me. It's right in front of the IRC. So, existing scholarships. We have 3 by now. They're each coined after a theme that we felt is representative of the class. We have the 2004 Pioneer Scholarship. Topic is pioneering spirit, creating, changing, rather than following. 2005, which is the Think Big Scholarship. It's about entrepreneurship. And the 2006 IUB Scholarship, which is about social responsibility. Catherine and Eva will be presenting what they've been up to in just a minute. And I would like to present to you the recipient of the 2006 IUB Scholarship. Her name is Lebogang Shilakwe. She is a CPN major from South Africa, the African Leadership Academy. She was the COO of a fashion design company called Smart. She served as an assistant teacher at the local primary school and volunteered in the library assisting students with homework. But what impressed the committee most is that she also started her own play school as part of a community service project, which really underlined the social responsibility that she felt needs to be rewarded. So with that, I would like to ask Leo to come on stage. Congratulations, it's just huge.
knowledge of things that I did back in home. It was quite surprising. Like, I'm really thankful to the class of 2006. And, like, I'm so grateful. And as, like, to express my gratitude, I just don't want to say thank you, but I want to do things to show that I am grateful. I hope that I'll live up to the standards that the 2006 class want me to live up to. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Kat, would you be so kind and come up? Now, I would like to open the stage for the 2004 and 2005 scholarship recipients. You can come both at the same time.
Okay, hi, my name is Catherine. My friends call me Kat. I'm from Australia. I'm that 0.1% that you saw on the map. So last year I did Global Economics and Management as my major, but this year I switched to the brand new major, Information Management Systems. So that's a change from the School of Humanities and Social Science to Science and Engineering. And so I'm a second year. So far in Jacobs on campus, last year I was on the Jacobs volleyball team where we went to Euromasters, which was a lot of fun. I was also Bremen's Chief Coordinator of Public Relations and Visual Design. So we basically organized the event of MUN, and all the schools came, and basically all the events for that. It was a lot of fun. And I was also the IMS representative at the Jacobs Open House this year. Participated in the C3 fashion show, which I'll get into a bit more later. We did group cheerleading for what was it, the Olympics. Which was a lot of fun. Yeah, go Coop. And I was a student advisor this year for the freshers. So last year, Eva and I had this idea. We wanted to change a little bit of Jacobs, try to improve it a little. So we wanted to make, you guys know the Pulse, right? Yeah. We had this, we wanted to follow that idea and maybe do like a bookstore, because, you buy textbooks online, you go to Amazon, or you get an email from a second year and try and buy it off that. So what we wanted to do was have a physical space where you could buy books and sell books for a cheaper price, so that it would just recycle, keep in the system. So that was our original idea. So we met with Katarina Bibera, and she's the head of the IRC. So we went through the financials and a few of the plannings and everything, and she advised us that what we should do first is start like an event, which is like a book fair, and then see how that goes. And if we raise money through that, then we can start funding, get our own funding to start that bookstore. So what we did was we planned for the bookstore and book fair, and it happened like a month ago, actually. The problem that we found was that a lot of freshmen showed up wanting to buy books, but all the second years were so used to sending around spams, and like as Katharina said, we needed to charge a fee, so that we would raise some money. So all the second years were used to like sending around spams for free, no fee, So the first years came, but the second years didn't. So that was our main problem. So next year we might have to change that a bit to see how we can lower the switching costs for the second and third years. So during the summer, what I was up to was I went to China. My mum got transferred there for her job in IBM, and I was in Shenzhen, which is basically a province within China. It's becoming more economically big. So what I did was I founded this clothing brand called White Mischief Clothing. And what that is that I just have some of my designs on there. I went to a manufacturer an exporter, and basically coordinated everything, got everything legally registered, and just started it. And then because of that, I was actually because of that, I did most of the work because it's under a sole proprietorship, which means that I'm the business. If I die, the business dies. So we started our own website here, and as you can tell, we took some pictures. So I was the photographer in these pictures. This was in Beijing. As I said, I went there for high school, so I had a few friends, and they didn't mind modeling. And we can go to the clothing page if it will load. And then you can see these are some of the clothes that we have. The other half are coming at the end of the year because it takes a bit longer to manufacture those. And then I want to show you guys the Facebook page. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a slash. Oh, and then it's white. Okay, anyway, so basically I was doing a lot of the photography, and a friend of mine, he's studying computer science here, he's a second year, he did the website coding. So everything you saw, that was all him. Yeah. So I don't know if there are any current students at Jacobs. You might recognize this girl. She's Francisca. So what I did was to continue it. I came back to campus and I got some girls here to model, and they did a really good job. So a lot of people like my photography as well. So I also started this Catley photography thing that allows people to, like anyone, to take pictures and shoots. Yeah, so as you can see, we're on 725 likes. I wouldn't mind, you know, a little publicity. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so my main advertisement, I'm not very good with advertisement, so I'm just trying to do it through Facebook, you know, getting friends to like it, and then it appears on other people's home feeds, you know, through that.
I was getting something from the internet, so just take a second.
Are we charging advertising fees for letting it out?
We could get a cut of the revenue.
None yet.
Okay, my name is Eva, and I'm second year logistics, and I got the Think Big scholarship. Now, Think Big, when they told me it's a Think Big scholarship, I thought I had to think big, have these kind of great ideas. So whenever I had to talk to Kat, I always came up with such outrageous ideas. She got confused. Then when I also talked to Neil, who is the class of 2005 coordinator with the scholarship, he was like, Eva, please calm down. Just get normal ideas and you'll be good. Don't worry, the scholarship is still there, just think big. Calm down. So you get confused, it's just think big, but don't think so big, so I got confused along the way. So, what I was like, okay, I'll just participate in everything I'm interested in. So throughout my AirPops journey, I've had to participate in all kinds of activities. So I joined the soccer club, joined the ABCS, joined GFI, joined board games, but what I noticed was, though I'm a Think Big scholarship recipient, I have so much work for logistics, but I also have so much to do, so I got confused along the way, but then came up with some great ideas, just like Pat said. And the first one, so September 2011, when I got the scholarship till now, was the bookstore idea. As you can see, it didn't work out that much. we're still working on it. Then we decided, as I talked to Kat, I was like, we send a lot of spams. If you're in Yakut, yeah, he's in Yakut. We send so many spams. I want, who has a pen, who has this, a laptop. So why not come up with an online platform where we sell all these things? If I need to swap a book, just swap it to someone. If just anything, tickets, anything. So that's when I contacted some friend of mine. Then also contacted the ECE and CS students to come up with a website so that we both benefit. And somehow this is how it looks like now, but it's going to be still being updated because the APOP students want it in a better way. So we're still working on it. Though I do logistics and programming and not of it, so they're still working on it. But this is how it is so far. Yeah. Then, as my history, like when they gave me the scholarship, they mentioned something as a CEO of a fashion business back in South Africa, and I always loved fashion. Over the summer, I did attend a few fashion shows, and when I talked to my academic advisor, since I do logistics, I was like, I want to do logistics, but fashion logistics. So she's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Because I think I'll be one of the first few people to do fashion logistics on campus. So I decided, okay, think big scholarship, and okay, let's think in terms of things I know, things I've done so far. And so I decided on fashion. And over this period, I've been teaching some people on campus how to sew and altering their clothes and all that. So I decided, so that there was also the Musuka choir, it's an African choir on campus. They used to sing, but every time they wanted to go perform outside, they would come to me to borrow clothes, because I have lots of clothes. So I was like, no, I have clothes. So I was like, no, you should stop borrowing my clothes. Why not contribute? Then I'll make the clothes for you. Something simple, something uniform, so that you're not only in harmony while singing, but also in the way you dress. And this is how they look right now. This was last year. This is when I decided to make these outfits for them. But, so my solution was designing and making one uniform for Muzuka. However, this is not only for me. So there are lots of girls on campus and boys who love fashion. So they cannot come together and do something. We all love fashion, we love sewing. Though I love fashion, I discovered I don't like the designing of it. But there's so many girls and boys who design a lot of good stuff and want to put it out there. But I'm very good at sewing. So we approached the little fashion shop. They sell all second-hand clothes. Why not give us their sewing machine so we sew clothes for the other events on campus. So we did it for Musuka, which was not entrepreneurial because they just gave me money for the clothes and the thread. So it was more of a charity. So I thought of it, why not make it more of a business, but where your cost benefits at the most. As you know, we have piano forte, dance stand, and all these theater productions. So why not have costumes made for them instead of having to borrow them or hire them or anything? So now that's the plan. We're going to make clothes for all these theater productions and all the events on campus, and that's what we're working on now. And I think we'll be working with Kat with her fashion line to join us. And that's what it is so far. Thank you.
My name is Stefan, for those who don't know me. Some students we heard are in the room. I graduated in 2007 and 2009, so it's been a while. One of our most important projects in the Alumni Association is our internal communication platform, and that's called AlmaLink. I'm sure you have been there, because otherwise you cannot get an email from us and register to come here, otherwise it gets complicated. So basically that's the platform that we use to have direct contact with you, and it goes at the moment directly through email as the first communication tool. However, we want to get a lot more from our common platform, and we together as an association have seen that the alumni platform, AlmaLink, does not offer us the needs, does not cover, does not offer us what we have as our needs. Sorry, just didn't sleep much last night. So let's start again. Let's do a short recap. Why do we need an AlmaLink? So as I said, we want to have our internal network. We need a tool where we can communicate to other alumni, where we can gather our contacts. We do this through other services like Facebook or Google Plus or LinkedIn, etc. But in the end, the data doesn't belong to the Alumni Association. It belongs to someone else, a third party. So we want to have some privacy. We would like to have a direct student alumni channel for mentoring and other communication between students and alumni in a structured way. And one very important thing is we want to have a platform where we can create events for the alumni, where people can just go directly to register, pay for big things like homecoming, local chapter leaders, etc., which at the moment are always done on an ad hoc matter. So, what we did, and we need direct integration to alumni office because the part of the Alumni Association that is here at Jacobs University is the alumni office, and they manage the whole alumni communication, alumni events, because the alumni board and the Alumni Association in general is busy working and studying, as you see. So, what's the process? We decided last year, I was sitting here presenting the same thing, that we need a new AlmaLink. First thing we need for that is funding. So we asked very nicely and got the okay from Jacob's administration. Then we went on to look at candidates for the software. So what we're looking at is a system that is integrated, that we can host here in our own IT infrastructure, and that would be basically our system that we can put all our users in and use as our own. So we went through quite a few candidates, what is available now in Germany and outside in the world, what people use as alumni networks, which are private. We started interviewing candidates in June, looked at in total about 5. We invited people to come here on campus, give us a presentation, we could talk to them. They showed us a demo, they gave us test access to their systems. So we played around with them a bit. And yeah, basically, since we want something very custom fit for us, we looked at candidates who can offer customized solutions. But I want to tell you just a little bit about the criteria, what we're looking at, so that you feel a bit part of the process, because this process is not just the alumni board and the alumni office doing it, but we've gathered criteria and requirements from several stakeholders. So we talked to the alumni office, career service centers, other university stakeholders, and we talked to alumni, then we talked to students, I guess faculty, but I forgot to write it. And we gathered then a list of requirements which we then used when we were searching for candidates. Some of the more important ones I will note here because I don't have time, I don't want to take your time to go through all of them. Something that we looked from the survey and from interaction with other people with alumni about AlmaLink, something that's very important, and we can see that on Facebook, for example, that we need posting boards for jobs and housing, primarily, and of course this will evolve in time, depending on requirements. We have local chapters, they're a great thing for keeping alumni together, and of course we need system integration for that, so a group would be the equivalent online, and of course these local chapter groups would then have their own websites, mailing lists, etc. We want different account types. Why is that? Because we want a structure, we want a platform which students can access, alumni can access, faculty maybe. And we want to introduce account types, basic, premium. We talked about this last year and previous years, the Alumni Association, the Alumni, the Alumni e.V., so the Club of the Alumni Association We'll decide at some point to charge a membership fee because we try to, as the alumni body grows, gain more and more financial independence from the university. So therefore, a basic premium account type possibility is important. And of course, another important thing, event management. Things like homecoming is the best example. Has to go through a number of systems. It would be best if that's integrated and directly connected to a system where all alumni are, and then we can see who's coming, who's going, who has paid, etc. And that's not it, but I just wanted to give you a bit of the most important criteria that we looked at. I'm talking too close. As I said, we had presentations, and we're still doing presentations, I think. They're scheduled at least 1 or 2. What does it look like for the future? We are really pushing to make a decision as soon as possible. We estimate that will be done in December, so end of the year. Once that is done, we hope they can already start implementing and migrate the data from the existing AlmaLink to the new system already in January. And of course, it depends on the provider and their availability, but we hope we can do a closed beta in March, April, and we will need users, so we will make sure to select a few valuable users from you guys to test the system. And then we hope, and this is really important, that we do it as soon as possible. We hope to go live June, July when the beta stage open to everyone. And that would be basically the users from AlmaLink. We copy them into the new system, but it doesn't mean they are part of the new system, so everyone would get an email and would have to register or activate their account into the new system. Do I have anything else? No, that's it. So we will keep you posted. This is a very important project for us as an association, for us as a group, for our communication and our organization. So if there are not any questions, I would hand over to Robert.
Question?
Oh, there's a question, yeah?
I'm probably going to become very unpopular after I say this, but I think this is a gargantuan waste of time and money, honestly. Like, I really don't know why I would use this when I use Facebook to keep in touch with my alumni friends. For example, this guy right here, I've met over the years at least 6 to 7 times in Nuremberg. He's come to Munich. We've never used AlmaLink, or Philip and Ilyana. Whenever we meet up, we do it either by email or whatever. And I just do not understand the need for such a thing at all. If you want to protect your data, you could host it on campus and post a link on this Facebook group, which could possibly be closed. So I really don't see why we have to do this. I mean, you're probably going to have the same thing as before where nobody's using it, really. And this is what I feel.
So, are you friends with me on Facebook? I don't think so. So that would be the only way we would be connected.
No, are you on Facebook? If you are, then you can do it.
Hold on, can we... Peter wants to say something.
It's an absolutely valid point, right? And we've actually spent 6 months debating the same topic, collecting information from people. There's a number of principles we've set behind that. And the first question we've asked is, can you just use Facebook or LinkedIn or something else and just forget about everything else? We've come to a conclusion, talking to a lot of you actually, that we cannot. But we also came to the same conclusion, we cannot replace Facebook. So actually, what you've seen there is just an mini excerpt of what we're looking for. And a lot of the providers who came to us said, oh, and here's, you can have contacts and you can have discussion groups and everything. So forget about it. We're never going to move people to use the contacts and stuff on a system that is outside of Facebook, that's outside of the existing social networks. We really want to put in place a system that is very basic, contains very basic information, but contains the information you would not voluntarily give to somebody like Facebook or somebody else. So I know there are differences among people and the level of privacy that we share. We've heard a concern among you a number of times. I don't want Facebook or any other social network to know exactly what my address is, what my phone number is, where I'm working, or potentially further information. This information will sit in a confidential system. The data is owned. We'll come to this. The data is owned by us, and the purpose is really to provide the services that other networks cannot provide. So whether that's a particularly focused job searches for you, interaction with students, and mentoring, because we can't support that outside of a system that's not owned by us. So it's really in those systems and in those areas where we cannot use other networks. If we can use other networks, we're not going to make great use of it. So take my word for it. We've done tons of work on that. We're going to forget everything that we've tried in the past, which is, here's your galleries and here's your contacts and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if that answers or if that reassures you a bit at least.
Yeah, if I can partially answer the question, but what do you think people will start using this for? They didn't work with AlmaLink, we use Exoneration, it's fine. We have our local chapters, our groups for that. If you say you want to introduce groups for that there, what do you see happening in those groups?
So there's a number of, we can go into this in more detail later on, but there's a number of things that you cannot enable through that. So one of them is mentoring, for example. Mentoring was one of the systems which we've tried and we can't necessarily do. The other one is actually us reaching you. You would not believe what kind of a nightmare it is actually for us to find your data to reach you. With it's not giving the data to the financial aid office or to anybody else, it's for the association.
But why is it a problem? Because I don't update my profile on AlmaLink. What if I don't update my profile there, then you can't reach me either? I mean, it's the same problem again.
It's absolutely the same problem. However, our hope is, there's nobody can force you to do that, right? So if you have no incentive to stay in touch, we're not going to force you. Absolutely not. But what we recognize now is that we have a system that is not user-friendly, not easy to use, not quick, and the hope is actually we're going to ask you to update the information once or twice a year, a very simple process. If you want to engage in further functionalities of it, you need to. If you don't, it's fine, right? At the end of the day, it's still your choice. Right, so if you don't want to hear from us, we want to update the information.
I completely agree with you that we need a central database and with functionalities that we can't have on social networks. But I understood from the presentation that there's also the idea about premium services on there. And now that goes completely in contrast to what you said about a slim, lean platform without all the details. So there's a contradiction.
I knew there was it's going to come up, and I know Stefan regrets actually saying that probably.
No, I don't. I think if I may answer, so the differentiation between the point is the differentiation between the premium and the basic and the premium account is not necessarily just at the system level. It's at the association level, and this would be reflected in the system. So we want to come from the level of where we are now, that we have alumni members who take part in events, who are just alumni members and get certain alumni services for free. We want to come to a point where alumni pay a regular fee and they get quality services from the Alumni Association, the Alumni Office for that. And this differentiation would have to be shown in the system as well, if that gathers the data.
We're talking long term. So the conversation has been had a number of times around whether we want to have fees, whether we don't want to have fees, whether we want to have different services for different people. The decision we've made for the short term is there are no fees for anybody. There will be no fees unless this body decides that there are fees, and you will not decide that you want fees unless we're able to provide you something you're willing to pay for. However, should that happen, and should we have the services that we can provide, the system should be able to make that differentiation, because what we don't want to do is say in 5 years' time or 3 years' time, actually we need a new system because it's not going to do it. But for the immediate term, there are no fees.
So the short-term plan is then to have this multi-tiered membership model, not to go to just a full pay model and just have a yearly fee for alumni membership.
The short-term model is there are no fees and you're all the same, and you get all the basic services for free. And then we're still exploring, we do that on a regular basis, we're still exploring what does that mean moving forward. Are there premium services we can provide you with that you'd be willing to pay for? And that's not going to be email, right? So it's not going to be an email with an ability to search people in a database.
I think that there's no issue at all wanting to have a database where you store all the private information locally on your own servers. But at the same time, I think this should be some kind of backend which manages all the data and keeps it safe. But on the front end, I really think you should think more about exposing yourselves to Facebook and putting more information out there on Facebook to inform all of us. Not just Facebook, but all the other social platforms out there.
Very well. How about I make an offer? We're looking at systems and the different things that the systems can do and configuring them. You're more than welcome to join that group.
Okay. I'll probably take your offer up then.
Yeah, please do.
Good, so if I can just add one last statement to this discussion. Of course, the first question we asked ourselves is, why do we need something else? And Facebook is fine. I agree, I was posting things on Facebook just now in the General Assembly. However, not everyone is Mark Zuckerberg, who says, I'm just going to post all my information on Facebook and everyone should post all their information on Facebook and upload address and work and pictures of the dog and everything to everyone. I don't want to do that. And I'm sure a lot of you don't want to. So, and this is really a matter of choice. We think that the alumni and the Alumni Association feel a certain trust in the Alumni Association. And you should be able to have the option inside the new AlmaLink, whatever it's going to be called, to open some information to other alumni. Which means you don't necessarily have to be friends with them, but they can see you on the basis of this trust inside of the association. And of course you can say, I don't trust the association. I don't want an account or I don't want to publish anything. And that's up to you. But we believe that, and I don't know, I feel like this, maybe I'm the minority. We believe that alumni want to share information because they know the alumni network is valuable. And the alumni network is valuable professionally and academically, and we use it. I mean, we make use of it, and it helps us, it helps me, it helps other people. So that's why we need a system where we can open this valuable, precious information to a restricted group of trusted people. And that's the whole point. Okay? So, if there are no more questions, we can continue.
There's one thing, I don't say the criteria, but something that I can imagine, because I mean, I consider myself being connected to the Alumni Society. I try to come back and meet a lot of alumni, but I cannot imagine myself going on my free time to another platform or something like that. What I could think of that could be involved in the criteria is that you look if they have some sort of mobile applications, because when I'm on the train, I'm looking for stuff to do, and then you go and check, and then say, oh, that's what they're up to. I'm going to Frankfurt, there's these people here. So I think the mobile application should be a strong criteria that can keep a lot of people tied up, or an alternative to your Facebook or Google or whatever application you have.
So could I make an offer to catch Stefan or myself, or anybody with the board actually, because this is one of the hottest topics and we can debate it forever. I'm just conscious of the time that the president is here. He doesn't know why he's here, but we know why he's here, why he needs to stay here for a little bit longer. So if it's okay with you, I will just hand over to Robert for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to do something that I can't tell what it is. Yeah, because we're all so excited what's going to happen, I'll make it quick. I just wanted to advertise again local chapters to you, because last time we came from homecoming, I thought like it would be great to have all these people around that we're meeting at homecoming, where we are at in Berlin, Munich, London. And may I ask, like, who of you has a local chapter in their town or knows about it? Wow, that's pretty quite a few, right? Who doesn't know anything about local chapters? There's me too. Well, local chapters are, as you see, they at this stage just meet up for beer and this is still in. And in the future they might even do projects that we're not there yet. What they also served a lot, we have a lot of people who found their flat through local chapters, or who just were traveling and wondered whether there is someone in that city. And of course, you make new friends in the location you're at. So I can just encourage you to join one. It's a lot of fun. I've been to a few as well, and I'll keep on going now that I moved to the south. Just lately, if you're in a city where you think there is no one, just try. And like lately, someone posted, "I'm in Vienna." Is there someone there? And then someone else, "Wow, you're here? I'm here too." And then, yeah, me too. So try out and see whether there's someone in maybe your local village. Maybe there's someone. To boost that a bit, tomorrow at brunch, we're going to have a little local chapter event where you can see the people from your city. Like there's going to be Berlin, there's going to be London, and I think California, if I'm right. And we also put a list in the welcome package where you see where people from, so maybe you can contact them and talk to them for some local chapter in Sofia or wherever you are. All right, I'm handing back to Petar. Oh, sorry.
There has been a little accident in the location where this was meant to take place.
Right, I forgot about that. In the agenda it says Nordmetall, and it has moved to College 3, the brunch and the local chapter event. Thank you for reminding. And I think you can buy some Jakobs Alumni merchandise there. Jakobs Alumni, not Jakobs University. So Mark and the jacket you'll be able to get.
Where has it been produced?
Sorry?
The merchandising, where has it been produced? All right, thank you.
We don't know. By local Jakobs kindergarten. Robert, in case you didn't know, this assembly was being recorded. So from the local village to the heart of Europe, back to Bremen. We're going to skip the open discussion for a second. We're going to open that in the end. We have another first this time. So at graduation this year, we had one of our firsts, and that was the 2000th member of the Alumni Association, which we were all very proud of. And today, we'd like to have another first. And it's not time yet. Mr. President, you are obviously still going to be our president for another 2.5 months, but this was a unique opportunity with all of the people who are here to do this. So, you know, I've worked with President Treusch now for 2 years on different matters, and I can honestly say, Mr. President, I've never worked with somebody who has so many titles, first of all, who has such an experience, as intelligent, as competent, and as modest at the same time as you are. It has been a pleasure working with you, and I think I speak for all of us. So, even though we're not going to say goodbye to you now, we would actually like to say welcome, because we'd like to make you the first honorary member of the Jakobs Alumni Association. Piece of paper is nice, but we also have a nice jacket for it. Apart from a piece of paper, actually, we'd like your name to be together with our names in a more permanent manner in this university. And therefore, you can have to wrap it for me. Therefore, we have a special honorary break for you. There will be a lot of more engraved stones coming together this very evening, so that it's worthwhile to open them fast and to be inside them. And as far as the paper is concerned, that's a tricky addition to a very intricate and complex relationship between alumni and the president. Because you know, you own the university, you are a member of our board of trustees. I'm still not yet president for you alumni, and I'm the COO in the Alumni Stiftungs GmbH, where he is the CEO of. It's
sort of going up and down. But I can agree with what you said. I had also the feeling for all the time the cooperation with alumni was just fun and very productive. And it was one of my greatest successes to have you as an owner of 1/3 of the university. And you might know we have very intricate statutes also, or constitution of the university, which tells 2/3 or 60% actually, no, 2/3, 4, 6 shares belonging to the Jacobs Foundation. But the constitution cannot be changed against the votes of the alumni. Even if there are 3/4 of the whole business against the votes of the alumni, no change of the constitution. And the same holds for the constitution of the alumni. We have the president as a golden share up to now, me. And you can't change your constitution against my vote. That's wonderful sort of cooperation.
So you better stay friends, huh?
Up to now it worked perfectly well. And I promise to my people on the admin floor, they don't know, as you don't know, what's going on at the weekend or Friday when the foundation is here. Then I'll tell you, no, I must start with another story. In 2009, after the first crisis, that sort of same program, out of money, what was to be done? And I went to Zurich to ask them for money drawn to an earlier date. And I couldn't speak about it, and so I said to my secretary, see, when I come back, there's a new watch on my wrist. Then you see I was successful. I have not to tell anything, so that's the story from 2009. So from 2012 is Monday morning I'll celebrate my birthday, which has been weeks ago. But I avoided celebrating it and said, if I come with champagne, you know everything is okay. If I come only with sparkling wine, then there was a disaster. But the champagne is prepared. And so you will also know in short time that all these efforts which you bring to this, our university, is worthwhile. And we look forward to a good future, to a long future. And what I realized in Rice last week, they have 100 years now, and as they told us, they reached the point here, reached after 10 years, after 50 only, so it might be really a bright future. But one more to look back. I was a bit prepared about what should happen today.
No, not yet.
You have been prepared first. Wonderful, wonderful. So let me stop. Thank you very much. I'm really happy.
We have one more thing. Always wanted to say that. Going from bricks to rocks. Some of you might have heard of IUP rocks, especially the class of 2004, to them it means a lot. And the whole process of building a path where none was, and sort of initiating it and going against all odds, and pioneering spirit, you might have heard about it. We were not really happy with what happened to the IUP Rocks path, which is a Feuerwehrzufahrt. As you know, initially mud path and a rocks path, and they cleaned the rocks off and they made them path. That was a Feuerwehrzufahrt. We didn't like it. We thought the whole idea, the concept would get lost. People have heard the term, but they don't really know what it means, what happened, and we thought we need to leave a mark and make it a part of Jacob's history. Anybody doesn't know? Okay, so back in 2002, when the servery was still not part of the Krupp College, but it was actually where the other side is now, and there was no connecting building, we actually had to run across this area which had baby grass. So we were not allowed to cross it. And in the early mornings, we had to run around to West Hall to get to class, which obviously we didn't. We just had to cross baby grass, which turned in the winter into a horrendous mud path, which had people slipping, and it was very interesting. And we made an official request to please have it, as it was tradition in Rice, paved. people basically were walking across grass in Rice University, and wherever the tracks that were left, they built a path. Of course, IUB back then, short in money, away. You walk around. We didn't care much, and one evening we got together. There was a countdown by email. Nobody knew what was going on. There was a small group of people who initiated the whole thing. It said, assemble at, I think, 9 p.m. Something is going down. Nobody knew, but everybody showed up, obviously. There was a student who explained the whole situation. Everybody agreed. Everybody got together, and the student and the rocks, right, that are between the college buildings, we took them and paved the path to West Hall, basically. It was fun. We had resident associates building the path as well, not only students, documented the whole thing, and it was a big outcry from the administration. They actually hired people to remove the rocks again. And then they made a path. And since then, we have IB rocks, which is sort of symbolic for the pioneering spirit, also a bit fighting against administration for your rights. And this is also where the IB Rocks Award comes from. People sort of behave and act the same ideas. And with this unhappiness that I kind of sort of left off, with what happened to it, I would like to hand over to President Treusch.
Yeah. Peter sometimes came to me and asked what could we do, and we wondered what to do, and then he had the idea of a big stone, and I said, remembering, it was before my time in the storage people, but there was a prize, the IUB rock awarded to several people at helped the university, so I felt it's worth remembering, not only for the reasons you talked about, but for general reasons. And I said to avoid any bureaucratic long way that I paid personally. And then you look for a stone. I didn't know how great it would be. You see more.
I'll show it in a second.
Where it stems from. But as I'm historic-minded man, I feel in 100 years from now on, one should remember IOD rock. And that's the way you did it now, and it's clear. I thought you would show a picture of the stone after this. Ah, okay. There goes his card. You see, these are a bit longer perhaps, and these are here. It's Jacob's Alumni IOP Rocks Pass, led in spring 2002 as a symbol of the pioneering spirit of the founding class 2004. And that's it, and that will be pinned. I think it's you now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Big stone.
Says, Jacob's Alumni, IOB Rocks Path, laid in spring 2002 as a symbol of the pioneering spirit of the founding class of 2004. And at the bottom, go ahead, there's a QR code. because I can't be telling the story every time. We need this plaque to tell the story, and we didn't want to put an essay on the plaque. So, you know, with the technology, and you can go to this website on your mobile phone. And it's basically telling you the story of IOB Rocks. It has the pictures and a nice text describing what happened and why and what it means to Jacobs. So there you go. Thank you very much for the presence. feel free and tag the QR code. It's right down here afterwards.
See you again, Miller.
The stone, yes. We tried to please the tell the story.
No, please the tell the story.
We tried to get it here for homecoming, but it was just logistically impossible. Actually, we had rocks being sent by email pictures, and we didn't like any of them. And we said, okay, we're not going to get a rock for homecoming just for the purpose of it. We want one that we like, because it's going to stay there forever. So, yesterday, Petar and myself drove up to Stade, which is close to Hamburg, and we found a couple of rocks. And because it's, geoscientists among us will know, you have to take a picture of it to scale. So that's why Petar is in the background. We found the rock, and it's promised that it's supposed to be on campus within 2-3 weeks, and we hope to make that a reality. Sorry for not making it today, but better than, just for the purpose of it.
So if any one of you is thinking of running for president or vice president of the Alumni Association, this is in your job description.
Yeah, look for us.
They did look at us a little bit weird when we were going around coming to. Of course, neither one of us thought to bring a measuring tape or anything. So. Say again?
Good that you said geoastrocytes.
Yes, exactly. And with that, actually, we'd like to close and open really to and open to any questions you may have, any discussions you may have. Obviously, we're not going to disappear, so we're going to be here today and tomorrow. But if there's anything burning that you want to discuss, now's your chance.
Yes, please.
Quick suggestion, no question, so you don't need to answer this. A suggestion, we were present in the past, the alumni path was open, and we're all very happy about it, I think, and everything. The platform in the middle, which is wooden, is also pretty neat that you took care of the trees we all love so much. Just maybe in the future, you could try to make it, make maps on campus in general more idealified, so that people with wheelchairs or so on can walk on them.
Any other questions? Do I now have to ask them to exonerate the board? And then we do the logistics ones? Everybody just wants to get there. So, does somebody else needs to propose that, or do I have to propose it?
No, you're not allowed to propose it. I'm not allowed to propose it because I'm not a full member, so to say, so any of you needs to do it. If you think the board did a good job, then you should suggest that.
To exonerate the board.
Second.
Thank you. Logistics.
So there are some final things on my not to forget sheet.
Oh, yeah.
One show of hands to make it official.
We have to vote for exoneration. Now show of hands.
Unanimous.
Okay. Anyone against? Good, so I assume the board has been exonerated.
Abstains? No? Okay, good.
Yeah, the board has been exonerated for actions in decisions in the last year. Things, announcements, logistics. Is anyone here without a homecoming ticket? If you are, then you have a chance to buy a €20 homecoming ticket right now at the end of the assembly by coming here to the corner. This is a homecoming ticket that will give you a blue wristband, I assume, and that is access to the barbecue. We'll cover some of the costs of the photo that all the alumni will take right outside the IRC at 6 o'clock, at 5:45, and access to the party tonight. And for class of 2007, those who haven't bought an all-inclusive package, we kindly ask you to also buy at least a €20 blue wristband package as to cover the costs of the whole Strandus transportation, access to the party and the photo. Another thing to announce is that the local chapter event that was already announced is now moved to College 3 instead of Normantal because Branch is also in College 3. Jakob's alumni mug and raincoat will be sold there if you want to buy it.
How much will they cost?
I don't know.
57 or
Sorry.
the raincoats,
How much is it?
The jacket is €57.
And the mug?
€6.
So €6 for the mug, 57 for the jacket. The raincoat or jacket, the Jakob's alumni jacket can be ordered online and delivered to you as well. At 5:45, so in about exactly 1 hour, we will have a photo of all alumni present on campus, hopefully all who show up. Here on the stairs where all the graduation photos are taken, so it would be nice if you join us there at 5:45, and the class of 2007 at 6 o'clock. Immediately afterwards, class of 2007 will take a class of 2007 reunion photo.
Are we going to Strandus directly after that?
The Strandus departure is at 6:30 from the gate, and we will organize taxis for people, so let's gather up in a group for that. Anything else? Oh yeah, homecoming next year is exactly 1 year from now, because we're trying to create a tradition or a fixed date so people can plan in advance. So that's 18th to 20th of October 2030. Okay.
Okay, everybody. Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and staying here. Time to go and have some party and have some drinks. And remember to switch off your showers.
And remember
see you at the party.
I'll see how long that takes.